Stand clear.
100% Wild podcast.
So for all you listeners,
Hello, and welcome to
definitely not your favorite outdoor podcast.
Bonus episode coming at you, everybody. It's 100% Wild podcast. Over across from me there is Mr. Matt Drury.
Across from me, we have Tim Chelsvik, the DeerCast editor-in-chief.
That's right. And we are powered by
DeerCast.
Aforementioned DeerCast.
Yeah.
And we've got some DeerCasters in studio.
That's right. So we got my nephew, Nolan Klump, and his buddy, Jordan Weiler. Those that have watched 13 have seen these two in a fun hunt at the farm I called the River Farm a couple years ago. Nolan had a short window. He's in the Air Force, and he came home for Christmas break a couple years ago. We had a couple days. He came in. We had one hunt to get it done. And the deer I was chasing, not really – we had a lot of encounters throughout the season.
Yeah.
And we weren't really trying to kill him too hard through the season because there was a couple other deer we were after. But there in the end, when we got desperate.
We weren't trying to kill him too hard.
Well, listen.
I do that all the time.
We had a couple other deer that we were kind of after. And by the end of the year, they were all gone. So we were trying to kill him. And it just so happened it worked out. He walked out, and really we hadn't been sitting there that long.
No.
And Nolan put a good shot on him, dropped him in his tracks with the Traditions muzzleloader, and one night, one kill, and back to deployment you went.
Right.
Did you kind of think that maybe Matt was actually a Drury when that happened?
Well, absolutely. I mean, I've been hunting with Terry my whole life, and then Matt gave me the opportunity to go up, and I was like, oh, he's the real deal now. So
That's how you do it, son.
Yeah, I felt pretty good about that season because I had guided Scott on, we got a kill. I got 2 kills down. We had one with Nolan. I'm like, this is how everything kind of worked really well for us that year.
Yeah.
The next year brought us back down to earth.
It's like we talked about with Kevin Van Dam last week, that you don't showboat. Like you don't start to get too grandiose about your season because next season could be a humbler.
Yeah. So Jordan was in the blind with us, and he was on range finding duties, and everybody was very nervous.
Oh, yeah.
What was it like being on rangefinder duty?
I don't know. I think the whole hunt, it just felt like I was living in a TV show since I was my favorite since I was a little kid. So it was awesome.
Yeah. We had a good time.
It was. Yeah.
So, these guys, Nolan's back in town for a short break. His younger brother, Carter, graduated high school. The graduation party's this weekend. So he's in town for a few days.
High school or GED?
High school.
Okay.
and he does not listen to the podcast.
No shot.
He's not really a family member.
We want to.
Yeah.
Actually, he's more of a family member because nobody else listens to the podcast, probably other than Nolan. So
It's a rite of passage in the Drury family.
that's right.
Listen.
Don't listen to anything Matt says or does. So anyways, he's in town. He's stationed there in South Carolina. Yep. So he heads back here in a few days, and he wanted to come up and see the new podcast set. We figured we'd just jump on and do a quick bonus episode.
Bonus show.
Yep.
So
right.
it's an opportunity for you and I, Matt, because we are old guys compared to a lot of the folks who listen to our show. Because you guys are what?
20.
21.
21. Okay. So I'm curious, what are some of the cool, I'm not gonna use these, but just like if I were to use some cool street words, what would be some words that I would use to relate to younger
like
people?
Yee, like that kind of stuff, right?
Like Nowsville, Daddy-O, stuff like that. Why are you laughing?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
We don't really use those words, Tim.
Well, you guys are just good old country boys. What's the terminology you guys are out there using?
I don't really.
I don't use any.
I get told I'm like a 90-year-old man all the time, so I really
What's
don't.
that mean?
I use old term, I guess. I don't know.
Old term.
Old terms. Old terms.
Do you ever like stub your toe and say words like dag nabbit?
No.
Because that's an old.
I use words that probably shouldn't be on the podcast. Is what
Okay.
I would be surprised.
Turd burglar.
There we go.
What was the phrase you had used for so long, Alan? What was that? The phrase that Tim was using forever. Or Plumpkin. Yeah.
I wasn't using it forever. It was.
It was at least 4 or 5 podcasts.
It was part of the.
Until his wife told him it was a sexual phrase.
No, who was it that brought us
Maybe it
into
wasn't
that
her
loop?
wife. I'm sorry.
It definitely wasn't her. She has no idea. But yeah, we learned some things, and that's the point of the whole show. Is we want to learn, whether it's from cultural learning, hunting, street talk.
Yeah.
What about flat brimmed hats?
Oh no.
Yeah, or no?
No way.
These are country boys. They're not wearing
Wow,
flat
okay.
brim hats.
He's writing it down.
Now, listen, Carter might be wearing a flat brim hat.
No, maybe
not even Carter.
He's got the rat tail now.
He's
Matt.
got
Tanner.
flow.
Tanner's got a
Tanner's
flat bill
wearing a
hat.
flat bill. Yeah. So.
Axe body spray. Yay or
Nope.
nay?
No,
Nope, that's
Old Spice.
Middle school.
Okay.
Middle school.
There's a brand called Middle School.
No. I used the axe
I
in
don't
middle
think
school.
You should be using that.
What else you got, Tim? Is this the best?
I'm just trying to learn. Trying to stay relevant.
There you go.
Good luck.
Just get on TikTok.
What's that?
You don't want to get on TikTok. It's a total time
I
suck.
actually am on TikTok.
Do you use it?
I've got some. I've used it to upload some videos.
He puts his tree saddle videos in there.
Oh, he is a podcast listener. That was a knock. knock on you.
What's crazy is I think Bryson Thornton hunts out of the saddle on our team, but I think we're the only saddlemeisters
On the team?
on the team so far. Yeah.
I've been dying to use that.
Yeah, I'm working on the designs for a double saddle.
I don't think so, Tim.
Like a double parachute.
Hey, don't knock it till you
Maybe,
try it.
yeah, maybe we'll take it hunting someday. I don't know.
There you go.
Yeah, you want a good hunt when you come back from wherever you're going to be next. Go hunt with Tim in suburbia.
You could.
Well, let's make it happen.
The morning that I killed my 130 public land buck, we were doing the the recovery stuff that morning, filming it, and we see a dog zigzagging through the cedar trees where he died. It was like a little dachshund or something. I was like, where'd this dog come from? And then just a couple minutes later, there's a lady in her trail hiking gear and her trekking poles,
Fast walking.
She's coming through the cedars, zigzagging around. Also, it's clearly lost. And Josiah and I were standing there. I didn't want to like crouch down like we were hiding from her. We had nothing to hide, but it was weird just to see her zipping through like a bedding area.
Yeah.
That I killed.
Just killed a deer out of.
Yeah, she still didn't notice us.
That's a weird thing about
Yeah,
public.
camouflage on it.
Yeah.
It's true.
I was hunting turkeys in South Carolina on the public down there, and we were trying to scout some birds for the next morning. And we just got sitting down. We made like a makeshift blind the night before.
Mm-hmm.
So we sat down, me and my buddy from down there. And next thing you know, here comes a guy hiking through the woods. And we're like, well, guess we'll go home now.
Yeah.
So you have some time on your hands down there between, the times you got to be on base, and you're trying to hunt as much as possible.
As much
So did you find a piece of property to hunt, or are you just hunting public land down there?
So about 10 minutes away from where I actually live, where my house is, there is like 400 acres of public ground that is heavily hunted, other than bow season. So we go out there for bow season. And then turkey season's off and on throughout the week, but we hunt that. And then about an hour away towards like Myrtle Beach area, there is a piece of, it's like 100 acres of private ground that my buddy, his neighbor, actually owns. Well, she doesn't hunt it anymore. So she gave us every right to hunt it as long as we mow her lawn and do other things like that. He helps a lot with her. So
Nice.
yeah, she gave us full access to that. So
So what I'm hearing is your buddy does all the work for
Yep.
the old lady, and you get to do all the hunting.
absolutely.
Okay, got
No,
it.
No.
I don't see a problem with
So
that.
which was South Carolina where you had that encounter with the bear?
Yes,
Nope.
that was something else. So this was a first time set that we have ever sat, and this was midway through the season. I think it was mid-October maybe, so midway through bow season, almost rifle season down there. And I was up in the tree stand, and my buddy goes, "Hey, get your bow. There's a hog coming out of the woods." And I'm like,
Is it like a shoot on site deal with hogs down there?
yeah, something like that. I had a big game permit and all that
Okay.
stuff. So, anyway, so he's like, "Get your bow ready. There's a hog coming through the woods." I'm like, "Okay." So I get my bow ready, and I'm like, "Oh, that's a cow. Like a neighbor's cow got loose. It's way too big to be a hog." And then it steps out, and I'm like, "Okay, that is not a cow. That is a bear." And this was, I don't know, it was probably 20 yards away from us, so really close.
Wow.
and it gets closer and closer and closer and closer. And I'm like, this thing might come up here because it was like sniffing us out, looking at us. It definitely saw us. And it was the last day of bow season. We figured that out for the bear after it left. And I didn't have a tag, so I obviously wasn't going to shoot it. But it was definitely a weird encounter.
You sent us some video, and you see a little bit of shake in that hand holding that phone.
Might need new pants after this hunt.
Yeah, it was definitely a little scary.
That was pretty loud. Soundboard's out of control.
When the bear's coming at you. So what's it been like making the transition hunting from Missouri down to South Carolina?
Different. I experienced that big time with turkeys because up here in Missouri,
They got a southern drawl down there.
Yes, they do. And anyways, up here in Missouri, the terrain is a little more hillier, you know, and down there it's just flat. So it's not easy to pop up over ridges, and you know where the turkeys roost at is just on these trees that are not even that high, except if you're in the pines, you know.
Okay.
But it's different because I called in 4 or 5 turkeys this past year within 20 yards and was not able to get a shot.
Jeez.
Well, why?
Well, either I was in the wrong spot or they were in the wrong spot. There was brush
I'd
everywhere.
blame them.
Yeah, that's just
Go with it.
But yeah, there was we have this big open field at one of the properties that we were hunting, and big open field, and in the middle of the field there's like this tall brush that stands about 10 feet high that it's just like kind of a cover. You know, it's only 2 foot wide and just 10 feet high. And I tried sticking my gun through there, but the turkey saw me. So I kind of slowly got back, and it stayed out there a little spooked. But we just couldn't get it to come around the brush because we were right on the other point of it. You know,
I just see a gun barrel poking through the foliage. Like, it's disconcerting.
So Jordan, you also hunt. You got a piece of dirt a family-owned piece of dirt
Yeah.
in northern Missouri?
We have a lease in northern Missouri.
Missouri,
Family farms down there in St. Genevieve.
Yeah. So I always see, on social media, you're up there shed hunting and planting and doing all kinds of stuff. So how was the turkey season for you guys? What were the numbers like?
The numbers were very down in St. Genevieve on the family farm. I went after maybe 1 or 2 different birds, and I ended up killing one third week.
Grinded it out. Tim, see, maybe we need to hunt with these guys.
I don't like either of them.
Well, Nolan didn't kill, so he can handle
Oh, he's
this.
cool.
No.
That's what I meant. I don't like Jordan.
There we go.
Jordash.
Jordash.
So okay, the deer hunting, you primarily do that on the lease though, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have a lease over. I have a lease over in Illinois. It's about 500 acres. And then the one up north is a little over 600.
You share that with other guys?
Yeah, some buddies.
Yeah. So what kind of, you guys, you look like you found some pretty decent sheds this year. You got some good deer up and coming?
Yeah, we got some really good ones. The biggest one we had, my buddy killed it out of my hang on.
Son of a
198.
Oh,
Jeez.
Okay. So
You guys are still friends?
Yeah, I guess I'll claim him.
that was this past year?
Yeah.
That's a giant.
Dang.
Yeah, it was a big deer.
So did you
part
cry?
of the Viox clan down there in St. John.
Yeah, I teared up a little bit.
Congratulations.
But do all your buddies, are they helping do management on the property too? Okay.
Yeah.
These guys are, close group of friends and all grew up together and good group of guys. So I'm sure everybody was happy because you probably all were chasing the deer.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, it was, more than anything, I'm sure everybody was happy that someone in your camp killed them versus someone on the
Neighbors,
camp.
yeah.
It's always the neighbors always kill them.
They do.
My dad and I were fishing up on Lake Michigan years ago, and we were planerboard fishing for walleye. And when you're planerboard fishing, we're out with a guide. We've got, I think, 4 or 6 rods out, and it's just like you see one of the flags go up, and you pick up on the rod, and a fish is there. And one of the rods I picked up on had 8-pound walleye on it, which is a really good walleye. My dad was legit pissed at me for having caught the big fish for the day.
I can't imagine on a fishing set, but I'm sure it's because I don't fish. I don't really have that interest as much, but it seems like it would be so different from a deer. That's something that's such a, I don't know, you end up getting, you see all the pictures, the trail camera pictures, you have the sheds, or you kind of know
you feel
more.
like you're personally invested in that
and
animal.
each person feels that way. But with a fish, it's like, didn't know he was here.
You don't.
That's and that's the thing. Like, and we all had an equal chance of catching a fish. Just a matter if you happened to pick up on the rod or not. We all were taking turns picking up on rods. So it was kind of a silly thing, but it just showed how invested he was in wanting to catch a big fish. And some people, they get that way with a deer and like, oh, someone killed my deer, and they just get so soured on it. And it's a really hard way to survive as a deer hunter, because then you're always just pissed at other people.
Right.
You know, we were talking about fishing. So I got a funny story. So we're partnered with Mountain Dew, and they had this they wanted to, I guess, promote the opening day of bass fishing. And so we had to shoot some content for it. And I really have never fished much, never, ever, my whole life. And so I could count on two hands probably the time I've gone. I just didn't have the interest. But with the new farm, we got this farm pond on it right outside the front door. It's just beautiful, 1.5 acres, and it's stocked. And so anyways, we actually have been fishing a little bit. And so I told the story in the podcast a couple of weeks ago, how about Cameron got $20. We were at the donut shop during turkey season, and a Vietnam veteran came up to him and gave him $20. Just said, hey, use it for whatever you want. So we went straight away over to like Farm and Home and got a Zebco. He bought a Zebco fishing pole with him. We've been fishing a lot. Well, when he bought that, I also bought a Zebco. And man, you would have thought I got so much shit for this on social media, Twitter and Instagram and stuff, like, oh, the program, the Mountain Dew program was like, if you go home empty-handed, you don't catch anything. You don't really go home empty-handed. You send in a picture and you have a chance to get $20 Venmo to you from Mountain Dew. Just a cool little, social media stunt or whatever. So I have a picture. Scott takes a picture of me fishing at the pond with the Zebco. And I mean, the comments spanned from, with that fishing pole, don't worry, you're not catching anything. And I need to buy Matt Drury an adult fishing pole. And one guy zoomed in and it had a zip tie on it that I just cut the end of it off, but
for the hang tag.
It was still for the hang tag. Yeah. Right. But it was still on there. Yep. The zip, the part, I just didn't trim that part off. Some guy was hammering me about that and where I was holding the pole, and some stuff I had to delete because it was pretty vulgar, even too vulgar for me to say on this podcast. I was just like, gee, I texted Scott and I was like, man, I'm getting hammered over this. I go, you're supposed to be my fishing guy. I didn't know that I'm using a kid pole. But I liked this Zebco because I also have the bait caster. Mm-hmm. You had actually given me one of your dad's. Yeah. And we had a bait caster there. Scott's got all those, fancier ones and
normal fishing rods,
whatever. But I preferred the Zebco. I did just fine with it. I caught the same amount of fish that I would have with a big boy pole.
The silver lining is that the hang tags weren't still on. It wasn't like a mini pearl rod where you still got the price tag and stuff on it.
But it was eye-opening to see. But then I started thinking about it. It's like, okay, if I would have went out there, say in the hunting side, which we do know well, obviously, and I would have, it was opening day of rifle season or something, and or say you're in Illinois and it's opening day of slug season, and I'm holding the rifle. I guess I could see where people would light you up. I could see that where people would be like, no, that's you're holding you got the wrong weapon. Yep. But I don't know shit about fishing, and so I was like, yeah, it's a Zebco. What's wrong with a Zebco?
The worst as an angler is when you watch fishing portrayed on television, and hunting is portrayed in the movies. Hunting is portrayed terribly in the movies and TV also. Yes. But the worst is when they're showing someone fishing. They've got a spinning reel and it's turned upside down, and they're like, it's like,
it's on the top side.
Yes. Yep. Yeah. Please don't.
Oh, that's wrong.
Let's talk afterwards.
Yeah. So, anyways. Lesson learned. I told Scott, if we got to do any more fishing stuff, I go, you're the director here. We got to help me out.
You get burned on the angling side.
I did, which it's out of my lane. So I should have known better, but legitimately, like, I was having a good time fishing at the pond with the Zebco, me and Cameron catching all kinds of stuff, and thought I was really doing something.
Until you posted it.
Until I posted it. Exactly.
Not so much.
Yeah.
Well, I had a near-death experience with one of my mounts at the house. We're doing some remodeling at the house and moving some. I've got a little studio office downstairs. It's becoming my daughter's bedroom. So I had to move all my deer heads out into another part. Hurts, Matt. I bought some at the garage sale, so I earned them.
How do those mounts look?
Old.
Yeah.
They're smiling.
One, it's got like a
talk.
little bit of the hide that hangs over the back lip.
Yeah.
And if you're not careful, you can actually accidentally hang it by the hide. Well, I must have done that. Hung it up on the wall and it stayed there. And so I got my computer desk down below it. So I was wiring some stuff up and I'm kind of crouched over it. And all of a sudden, this thing lets loose off the wall and it just clocks me into the thigh and kind of the side and knocks me over. And I grunt as a result. And the kids have heard a lot of noises come out of me over their lives. They must not have heard this one before because
Came to mind.
Dad's hit. Get him out. Get an adult to supervise.
So they were scared for you, huh?
They
You are a Twinkie little
they
guy.
didn't come,
So.
I'm fragile.
You wear a medium.
Medium. So Beth comes storming downstairs because the kids have run outside. Something happened to Dad. And I'm just dog cussing this mount that fell.
Laying there
Surprisingly,
like those commercials for those old people.
love the life alert.
Yeah.
I'm falling.
I can't get up.
Yeah. I'm going to get one of those walk-in bathtubs pretty soon, though. I'll tell you that much.
I could tell you're getting that age.
Yeah.
Tim.
Well, you know what?
Wait.
It's practical.
Sorry.
Who wants to lift their leg when you can walk straight through?
That's the thing. Everyone, well, you know, actually don't knock it. Like shower chairs. You ever tried one?
That's where I go too far. That's somebody's dirty asses on that before you're clean.
Yeah. Hopefully you're not buying a used shower chair.
Well, you get that from the garage sale too.
Yeah. You can get all kinds of good stuff. Shoes.
Speaking of the deep 8 and near-death experiences.
Oh, okay.
Good segue, I guess.
Yeah.
A
So
little stretch. But let's
Speaking of
go,
not talking about what we were talking about.
let's go back.
well, let's talk about his how he was talking about his near-death experience. Last night I hung the deep 8 in the new house.
Did it fall on you and shatter?
Well, I
any-
smoked my head on it, and Jada was at my house, and I was, putting stuff away because I haven't been home much since I've been home. And we just got the new house and, new dresser and new clothes and whatever, putting all that stuff away. So I hung the deep 8, opened up my closet, putting stuff in there. Well, it's kind of near my closet a little bit. And I reached down to grab my hunting tub of all my clothes. And I get back up real fast. You know how I'm kind of a little clumsy and aggressive about things. And boom,
Clumsy and aggressive is not a good combination.
it's not at all. And
clumsily running into danger.
Yeah.
Stinky and I don't observe personal space.
yeah. Well, anyways, I smoked my head on the deep 8 and it twists a little bit on the wall. I'm like, oh, that was not good. Because that
But it
was the
stayed
first
on?
one. It stayed.
It's a good looking mountain. He sent me a picture of it.
Yeah,
Looks good.
It does. It looks really good.
Was that your biggest deer?
Yeah, that was my biggest one to date. So
I'm glad I could help you out there.
yeah,
Great setup.
Speaking of segues,
How'd that change your life in major ways?
well, I mean, I've been hunting with Mark and Terry now.
yeah.
And
Whoa.
So actually, it is saying
Wow.
something. I did what Mark and Terry could not in the deer woods.
Holy
I got
heck.
Nolan his biggest deer ever.
yep. I
Man.
killed my oldest buck with Mark, which was that big old wide 8-point that I killed down in Texas, and then the one 8-point that I killed up at Terry's. That thing was pretty old too. Grandpa thinks it was either 6 or 7. So.
You know what though? You never can tell.
No.
Dad, I've been around him a long time, and all the crappy deer that he wants you to shoot are old, real old, and all the good ones are, I don't know, he might be 3. So I've experienced this a lot. You
sure
shot
you
him
have.
at Drury Buxer, and basically it was a 4-year-old, and it's just something that had no potential. He told you 6 or 7. It was a lie.
Master equals management.
Oh, yeah.
Well, Forrest agreed with him.
Well, sure he did.
Forrest is his employee. So.
That's true.
And
He doesn't
Forrest
get
is
fired.
also shooting mad jury bucks for the longest time. He's actually killing some really good
He
deer.
is.
Dad's kind
Boy,
of
he is.
let him graduate up to the nice deer now. So,
Yeah, you got to get past that break-in phase.
Yeah.
Orientation.
Yeah.
It takes years.
Do you guys have any prospects for this coming year?
I do not.
I got a few of them,
Okay.
a few nice ones.
Nice as in, like, what are we talking?
The one I was chasing last year, he was probably 160.
Girl.
And then another one that we never ended up seeing but had on camera. He was
huge.
We had him, just pictures of him. He was probably upper 80s.
It's most of my deer. Just pictures of him. Never see him.
I've got a 190 that I've not had on trail camera and I've not seen.
It's just in your mind.
In my heart,
Yep.
I know he's
out there.
He's
waiting for me.
He's there.
Yeah.
He's got your name
The
written all over it.
20 pointer.
Yeah, lots of junk.
Lots of junk.
Well, Nolan, it sounds like Jordan's inviting you to hunt at his place.
Well, I wish.
Oh,
Come over.
I'll be stuck down in South Carolina all season next year. So
You're actually getting ready to deploy, aren't you?
yeah, I leave here in July and don't know how long I'll be out there, but hoping to be back for Thanksgiving or Christmas or something. If not, I will. Got duties calling, so might as well.
Well, what I would do is I'd play that card really heavily. If you come back during deer season and you got a week at home,
Yeah. Hey, Jordan.
I'd go, Jordan, Terry, Mark,
just back from serving in the country.
don't ask me because I got nothing. I'm just going to give you a heads up. You've
done
met
your due
quota
diligence.
with me.
You've done your due diligence, Matt.
Yeah, you quit while you're ahead.
Yeah.
Might as well. Might
You
as
guys
well.
want to welcome in some new Rack Pack members?
Yeah, might as well.
The Rack Pack.
All right. So we've talked a lot about the Rack Pack here recently at the studio, and we're going to start sharing a bunch of the clips that like Ben here at the studio creates a bunch of reels for us out of the video from previous podcasts. And a lot, Jury Outdoors might use one or two of them. Tim might use a couple. I might use a couple, but there's plenty more. So we're going to start sharing some of that stuff to the Rack Pack and make those clips shareable so that anybody in the Rack Pack, if you find it funny or you find it worth pushing out to your friends, all you can do is hit the share button. And what it does is it helps us get the word out about the podcast.
Yes.
So that's what we really need. We're trying to grow, trying to make it, get more subscribers. So we need the Rack Pack to help us out.
Yeah, we're going to take over the world.
There we go.
One listener at a time, apparently.
We want to occupy your ears.
So somebody said something about us wearing, what kind of costumes did that guy in Rack Pack say he wanted us to wear?
I don't remember, but
The sombreros or?
That seems tame.
But I said, if we get to 2,000 Rack Pack members before the fall or during the fall, I forget.
Shaving our eyebrows.
Well, I said, we'll wear whatever costume you want on a podcast.
Yeah, we'll wear whatever
I
costume
remember
they
seeing
want.
that. I don't remember what he said though.
So just a heads up, Rack Pack, you got to share that stuff to get more Rack Pack members in there.
Or don't.
I don't care. I'll wear whatever.
This may be cover for you getting to finally do what you want to do.
Or his Darth Vader suit in here.
I'll wear that damn Darth Vader helmet
That would be terrible.
through
if
an
you had
entire
to.
podcast.
You gonna be able to get it off?
No, probably not. We've showed that already.
It's a two-man job.
There you go.
We're going to Disney here in another week or two, and first time we're taking the kids and.
Disney, Missouri.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I told Randa, I'd love to take that Darth Vader, but we're flying and we got no room. And then this thing is the size of a suitcase. I was like, man, I'd love to take that Darth Vader helmet and wear it one day.
You might make some money down there.
Wear it to on some of the rides. Think about wearing the Darth Vader helmet on a bunch of roller coaster rides.
Wear it on Space Mountain and throw up inside of it.
Yeah. This is a horrible idea. So, anyways. All right. So we're going to welcome some new Rack Pack members every week. There's one fake name every week. I butcher all the real names. All right. So we start out. I could tell already this is the fake one. Tim.
Wow.
Quink Dungle Junk. Quink Dungle Junk. Quink. You pronounce it. You wrote it.
It looks like Quink to me.
That's a soundbite right there. John Hawk, Jordan Quayle, Alan Crook. This one baffles me.
This one.
I saw this come through, and Alan is one of the other producers here. He's with DeerCast team. He's been with us 3 years,
He's
probably.
at the controls right now, the TV.
He was probably one of the first guys ever to be in the Rack Pack. And somehow he's just now in the Rack Pack again. When I brought it up, when I saw this come through, he blamed you, Tim.
Immediately.
Immediately. In fact,
there's
I'm
no
looking at him.
delay.
He's pointing at you. He says you deleted him from the Rack Pack. And so then he had to rejoin. Is this like a way for us to fake our numbers or something?
Well, the
Should
problem
we
is
all delete ourselves?
Yeah.
when you delete people out, you lose people. So the math doesn't work out. It's a net zero.
We've
net
seen how
zero
I do
deal.
math. Carry the
Hey, we
three.
got a bunch of new members this week.
Yeah.
They're members we had last week that we got rid of.
All right, moving on. We got Noah Martin, Anthony Nochi,
Nose?
nice,
Not nice.
River Braden, Cody James. So that's the Rack Pack for this week.
Welcome aboard, everybody.
Welcome aboard.
Yeah. I did do a quick Urban Dictionary search on quink and dungle junk just to make sure it wasn't some exotic move
Sexual
that I've never heard of.
term. Like the last one you used forever and ever that you didn't know about.
You just never know.
Pumpkin.
You ever
No,
experienced the dungle?
no, I haven't.
I don't
can't
think
even
so,
say
Tim.
it. The dungle junk.
Hold on.
I don't think so, Tim.
Thank you, Al.
Al Borland.
Hold on. You guys are probably too young for this, but
South Park.
okay.
Yeah.
Jordan's a
Yeah.
fan.
Yeah.
South Park,
Yeah.
man. Tim, when I was in college when that first came out.
1997, I think, was when they started airing
so
those episodes.
they'd been on for a couple years then. So, anyways, well, I had a friend, Tim. I have a friend, Tim, that I went to college with.
Tim's.
And we would always say Timmer. So
Yes.
I told Al, I was like, we need the Timmer soundbite on the soundboard. And now we got and
That's also the name of my iPhone is Timmy.
it is.
Mark was trying to airdrop me something one time.
Timmer.
He was trying to pronounce it out loud. And he kept saying, Timmy, yeah. Timmy, is this you, Tim? Yeah, Timmy.
Yeah, Timmer. That's me.
I don't think so, Tim.
He
All right.
didn't. Okay.
Well, we said this is going to be a short one this week.
Bonus.
Damn it. That's
what she said.
It would have been. Hold on. Let me do that again. We said it was going to be a short one this week.
That's what she said.
And it was. So these guys came in for a visit. We wanted to jump on the podcast and just shoot the breeze a little bit. I want to say thank you for your service. We always tell you that every
Yep,
time, but we
absolutely.
mean it.
Yep.
And good luck over there and when you're deployed and stay
you.
safe. And I just stick to being on the base. We said that off air.
Yep.
Just stick to the base. You'll be all right.
Show me the PX.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means.
It's like the shop on base.
Okay.
Shopping.
How'd you know that, Tim?
Military stuff. Movies. The back assault packets.
Stolen valor. More importantly.
Well, that's
Yeah.
like when we had Craig Morgan on, and my buddy served in the 82nd, and I was like, "You give me some terminology that we can use with Craig," and he was like, "80 deuce on the loose," and
You got that one in there on the
yeah,
podcast.
and I was like, "This isn't going to be stolen valor or something. I'm not going to act like I'm a poser or something if I say this." He's like, "Oh no, it's cool. He'll get a
Some
kick out of
crazed fan won't come up to you at a barbecue. Wait, that did happen.
it." Wait, what's your last name? Why? Background story. We had a listener come up and say hey to me at a.
Let me ask you guys. Do you guys know a guy by the name of Nick Greither?
That we're gonna out him.
Well, Nick sends me messages all the time. Nice guy, fan of the show, follows DeerCast, all
Goes
that
to
stuff.
picnics.
Yeah, but Tim ran into him, and so I always thought he was from St. John because there's
last name.
Greithers from St. John, but maybe not.
No.
So Nick, if you're listening, DM me and let me know where you're from.
Yeah.
Not in a weird way.
We need an address. We're gonna do this show from your house.
I promise, not in a weird way.
All right. Well, that's a bonus episode for you.
Yeah. Does this go before the McClellan episode, or?
Yeah, so we got Kyle next week talking about the Chatter's Box, his new podcast, and he talks about his interview with Albert Pujols, which is pretty cool, and just like some literal inside baseball.
It
Have you
was
checked
funny.
that podcast out?
No, I haven't listened to it. So he said he did a couple Instagram stories about it, and the first day it went live, which was just here recently, and right out of the gate, he said the podcast reviews are, and it put a bunch of fire emojis, and as a guy said, the guy's name was like Lou718 or whatever, and it said this podcast is unlistenable or terrible or something
wow.
like that.
Heck.
And I sent him a DM. I said, "Welcome to the industry."
Yeah.
And he says something back, and then I replied, I'm Lou. That's all I replied. I'm Lou.
Yeah, keep your friends close, your enemies closer.
Yeah. Suck it, Kyle. Oh, because it started out with, as soon as it launched, he goes, I already have more listeners than you, which was kind of the running gig, behind the scenes. And I'm like,
Not a surprise.
Yeah, Major League Baseball and the St. Louis Cardinals are pushing yours out.
Yeah,
And I
Albert
can't
Pujols
get
on your first
I
episode.
can't get us a post on Tree Outdoors about it. So, yeah, you're gonna beat us.
Big surprise, Kyle.
So, Kyle, if you're listening, which I know he's not, suck it.
Yeah. For some reason, baseball is bigger than hunting. Who would have guessed?
Yeah, who would have guessed?
Huh. All
All right, we've given Kyle enough free promotion here.
Yeah, we hate that guy. Sucks. Thinks he's so big and muscular.
The part about it nobody's going to
Successful in
understand
life.
is that his podcast hasn't aired yet, the one with us. So this makes 0 sense so far.
Stay tuned next week, and it'll
That's
all
a
make
deep
sense.
tease. That's a real deep tease.
Yes, very
Whole
overt.
week until you can hear it.
That's all we know how to do because we can't deliver.
All right.
Let's shut this thing down.
Till next time.
All right, boys. Thanks for hopping on.
Thank
Appreciate
you
it.
for having
Thank
us.
you.
All right. Peace out.
Peace out.
The results are in.
DeerCast said great.
It doesn't exist anywhere else but in DeerCast.
Hunters love DeerCast's exclusive deer movement forecast. Get ahead of your game with DeerCast.
We're adding new videos every week, so make sure to click that subscribe button and check out all of our amazing content. This episode of DoD TV was brought to you by Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's.